YouTube, it's your homie S. Dot coming back to you with another video. And today's video is a special one, but first of all, we got to give a big shout out to the Alpha Trion Protocols. Alpha Trion Protocols consist of the Vector Sigma crew, the Transform Your Game crew. We have Cam from Arbitrary Hero. We have Brian, Mr. V Jackson on Discord. We have G-Hen. We have, I think that's, we have, Christian Young, I think, who's also a part of Transform Your Game now too. So shout out to all of them. We're all one big entity of people in the playtest group on our Discord that have been a part of this journey of making these cards for ATP Set 2, and it's been a really cool time from playing these cards at their most broken to realizing, okay, this is too good, this might be too good and too strong versus other things, and we kind of got to water it down and get it to a certain point. I think one thing that I've learned in from playtesting cards or playtesting, I've said this on the sly a couple of times, but normally, no matter how cool your deck is, no matter what your deck's meant to do, whether you're Shockwave, you're discarding cards from your opponent's hand, whether you're Galaxy Prime and you're just broken, no. But whether you're Galaxy Prime and, playing things off the top of your deck and then flipping them and playing, whatever your strategy is, most games should usually be close. Like, sincerely, most games should actually be very close, like no matter what your deck is playing. And you have to make some really silly misplays, like multiple silly misplays, to have your opponent win by a landslide. This is not like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! You can set up an entire like crazy board with 10 negates, like negating a lot of your opponent's plays, and your opponent's just kind of shut out. In this game, you're not completely shut out. There are little minor ways you can be shut out by your opponent having like stealthiness or bravery and things like that, and you don't have the answer to it, so you have to keep attacking, or like, I guess Doom Shot on Fangry, that's another example. But I digress. This whole process has been very fun, and noticing that when we get a character down to the point where the games are still close, but your deck can still be, quote unquote, playable, is definitely something that I've noticed as well. And that's just talking on the lighter end of it. But today we have a spoiler for you, and so without further ado, we're actually going to jump right into it. These two cards actually have one character and one battle card, fit me very well. And you guys remember from the Night Racer reveal, shout out to WOTC for giving me that reveal. How many ever months ago, Night Racer was the power crept version of Flame War. Now, not to get mistaken that Flame War is just all of a sudden out of the game, although the black icon, blah, blah, blah. But Night Racer, she's ranged, so she can wear Arm Hovercraft, Sturdy Javelin. She doesn't have to flip. She also has one more defense, and she's very sturdy. She has 13 total health, if you will, 11 health and 2 defense. Well, today we have somebody finally on the red squad that has similar stats, kind of, sort of, not really, but when I show you the card, you guys will know why the ATP guys ended up giving these to me, and I appreciate it because they right up my alley for the type of decks I like to play. You guys know I love to play blue control decks and things like that, but we are going to talk about Huffer, Construction Engineer. And first of all, he's trucking ranged, so just like what we were talking about with Night Racer being ranged. So first thing that comes to my mind is playing this in Galaxy Prime as the new partner over Braun versus in Night Racer rather. So you play Huffer, Night Racer, and the Galaxy Prime, obviously. And what's really cool about him, we'll get to his text box later, but him being ranged, so all three characters will be ranged. We have 41 health across the board before any energy packs. And the fact that you're able to play the Javelin, like I noticed, like when I played Flame War, Night Racer, I flip Flame War, attack with Racer, and then the next turn, if I had a Javelin, it would just stay in my hand, and like, okay, I would attack with the Flame War, and then the next turn, Galaxy probably wants energy pack, or not energy pack, well, I guess energy pack, or like something that probably wasn't sturdy Javelin. And I just didn't like it when I had two ranged characters, and honestly, I really didn't like that no matter what deck I played. I take it back. It's not that I didn't like it, but it wasn't as efficient because I didn't have all three of my characters being ranged. Like the Sky Shadow Perceptor deck, everybody's ranged at some point and can all use the Javelin. But Huffer solves that problem. So at any point in the game, turn 1, 2, or 3 with your 3 characters, or how many other characters you're playing, you'll be able to throw javelins. Of course, obviously, Huffer's also able to wear Arm Hovercrafts. And when we get to his text box, you'll see why he's actually a formidable and great card to come into the ATP set and into the game in general. He's also a common, so he'll be used for Junkion. That's actually really huge because we have a lot of Junkion fans. Junkion is actually one of our bigger tournaments in the community. It's more laid back. It's not as, Sky Shadow, Quake, etc. It's pretty laid back, and it's still pretty competitive. But so he has 4 attack, 9 health, and 1 defense in his alt mode, and his sturdy if this character would take damage from an opponent's card, they take that much -1. So right off the bat, armed hovercraft. So opposing armed hovercrafts will have done the 1, but it won't deal the 1 at all. It'll just minus that 1. A big one is magnetic dysfunction ray. So going back to the Galaxy Prime example, Huffer, Galaxy, and Night Racer. Galaxy will take 2, but he'll brush it off because he has 21 health plus the energy packs throughout the game. Night Racer will take 1, cool, Decepticon, and the Huffer actually won't take anything. So that's one comparison when we look at Huffer versus Brawn that I like Huffer better. Huffer also having that 4 attack. 4 attack is actually pretty huge, especially for a 4-star or for a 5-star bot. For a 5-star bot, it's actually very important, especially on those turns where you're, beginning of the game where your opponent's attacking with a 2 defense aggro character or a 2 defense character in an aggro deck, and like Huffer can like all of a sudden put on a Nobles Blaster and be at 6. Being at 6 for a 5-drop is pretty dope. So definitely very strong there. Sturdy being his new keyword is definitely something that, first of all, not a ton of bots and or battle cards will have, but certain bots definitely will need them, and rightfully so. He has 9 health and 1 defense. It just matters on every scale. So like we talked about armed hovercraft, we can go as far as Sky Shadow. So when Sky Shadow Elite Warrior comes out, he usually deals 3 damage to a bot. Well, he'll just only be dealing 2 to Huffer. If we have, if your characters have 1, they can't scouting mission in at all because I wonder what the ruling is on that. We'll have to get a rules fact up for that. If they scouting mission your Huffer to try and kill it and forget that they can't or whatever because of the sturdy, would you still draw 2? But same thing with Cayman Crash. So Cayman Crash would be a 1-in-1 versus a 1-in-2. The list goes on. So sturdy being his new keyword is just something that's going to help against like these orange-black decks. We are of course already also have Jazz to help with that as well. I could see people definitely pairing Jazz with this Huffer and a big guy potentially to potentially have the finally the red guys come back in this current meta game where orange, black, and Pierce is just like the king still right now, even despite Jazz and all that. Like this Jazz is making us play Scoundrels Blast stuff more often. And then we're going to talk about Huffer's bot mode. So Huffer's bot mode, he's still a range character, and he has 4 attack, 9 health, and 2 defense in his mode. So when you flip into this mode, what he does is he simply just draw a card and then scrap a card from your hand. So a Wheeljack-esque effect, and it'll help you cycle through your deck. When you have a small window of time to probably use this effect, but most of the time you'll probably be keeping him in his alt mode so he can protect from all that extra unnecessary damage. And one thing I also want to talk about, well, it's kind of obvious, but those 3 Pierce 3 turns or those 2 Pierce 2s, especially from the heads, like when the heads attacking you for 4 Pierce 2, well, now it'll just be whatever you would take. If you would take the Pierce 2, well, you'll just take Pierce 1 now. So you can scale up your blues to block a certain amount, and then whatever Pierce they would have, you just -1. -1 might not seem like a lot, but it's just like armed hovercraft, what I didn't think was a big deal when I first started the game, and realizing how much even just 1, the minimum damage is a lot. So yeah, very, very sturdy character. Sturdy, funny. Very, very formidable and sturdy character coming into the metagame in Junkion, and especially, in competitive, constructed, and especially Junkion, because Junkion, he's definitely going to see play there. He's going to be battling with Huffer, He's going to be battling with Brawn for the spot, but in certain decks, I think it's going to depend on what your deck's trying to do, what kind of range characters and range cards you're playing, in terms of who you play there. Or, hey, who knows, you might just play both. But yeah, so shout out to ATP, to the Alpha China Protocols for giving me this card to reveal. And yeah, there you have it. That's Huffer. And next up, we're going to get right to the battle card. And the battle card that we have to talk about is actually has the same text box, the same strategy in terms of sturdy. And this card is called Survive. Survive is a brand new secret action coming out in ATP2. You reveal it when one of your characters would take damage from one of your opponent's cards, and the trigger is that your card becomes sturdy for the turn. So your character gets the sturdy effect that Huffer has. So that's another reason why we're not putting the sturdy keyword on a ton of cards, because this secret action gives you sturdy. So Shockwave is one of the first things that come to mind that you can use this card with. You can play this card in the Optimus Prime deck. So when your opponent plays Magray, you can flip Survive and Survive on your Galaxy Prime. So that way he takes no damage from the Magray, your Huffer takes no damage from the Magray, and then your Night Racer is the only one that takes 1. And that just goes for any Autobot or whatever in general. This card helps against at least one of your characters from Magray. So another deck that I think that would appreciate this card is decks that play 1 Autobot with a Decepticon head and then 2 other Decepticons. So like the Sky Shadow Perceptor deck. they usually play the Briscoe, or let's say the deck that plays Perceptor with Grax and then 2 other Decepticons, they'll be able to survive their Perceptor. So Perceptor won't even take any damage, but then just their Decepticons will only take 1 each. And then all your opponent's characters still take their 1, and then another 1 if they are playing Autobots. So that's something to keep in mind. So not too much to talk about that one. Shockwave, like I said, can use it. Yeah, survive. You know, sturdy is a new keyword. I think that's huge that we're bringing a new keyword into the game for our tournaments, and I think it's going to definitely help out a lot, and it's a step in the right direction to correct some of this. Well, I won't say correct, but to give an answer to what's going on with all this orange black. Like, and when I talk about that, I talk about like Jetfire stratagem, and I talk about Jazz's stratagem. And if you're curious what those do, I will leave a link in the description below to all the ATP Set 1 cards. And I will have a future video coming out very soon next week. It's actually supposed to be a collab with this video, but I only have time to do the video for the reveal tonight and go from there. But I will be doing a ATP Set 1 review sometime next week, and then when ATP2 drops, I'm actually going to do that reveal as well sometime soon after, because our ATP Set 1 has been out for a hot minute now. But yeah, that's going to do it. So those are my 2 reveals. We got Huffer and we have Survive, 2 cards that not necessarily just help blue decks, but just help well, who am I kidding, help you know, control decks, and you know, just kind of combat some of the things that have been going on from Wave 5. And this is only the beginning. You know, we still got a whole bunch more stuff to come out. I'm excited to playtest some new stuff, whatever they give us in the playtesting chat to, you know, get playtesting, and we'll go from there. So that's going to do it for this video, one of my quickest videos ever. You guys know what it is. You guys have a great day and or night if you haven't been catching this video. Make sure you check the Facebook group for more ATP2 spoilers. Make sure you join the Discord as well, so you can be in the Discord and join all of our tournaments that we have going on. Again, like I said, we have Junkion, we have a current one going on, a constructed tournament. We have a shout out to the Extra Life tournament. I got this for winning the, we're going 5-0, so technically I guess winning the Extra Life tournament that Cam held for the for his charity, for the charity, Extra Life charity, a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, so they, you know, making playmats for the winners of tournaments, of top 4 of some of these tournaments, or I want to say maybe all of them. You can potentially get cards, the actual cards made with the arts on the back for the ATP1 stratagems, which is really cool. If you haven't seen that yet, check out the Facebook page. Cam just actually showed his that he got in the mail. You can get these through a tier in, you know, a certain tier in the Patreon, or you can actually win these just by top 4 in a tournament. So the tournament tier, I want to say, is about $15, and at its minimum, I mean, coming in for $15 a month and potentially being able to top 8 or top 4 and win play mats, win ATP2 cards, and you know, the actual like real cards or the real hardback cards or whatever. What they got set up going on and getting those printed out was really cool. I definitely got to get a set for myself because I'm tired of proxies. We're gonna be proxying it up for the rest of this afterlife of this game anyway. But where I can control, where I don't have proxies, I definitely want to get into that. So I'm definitely looking to try to top 4 one of these tournaments and try to get some of those dope stratagems. It's pretty cool. So yeah, shout out to you know, everybody and everything that they're doing with all creating all these cards and everything, and keeping this game going somehow, some way. There's so many different ways you can go. There's so many different entities that are creating cards, and you know, it's all good. That's all good because it gives you different options. Be like, oh, you know what, I really want to see X, and oh, they're doing X, so I can go play with X, or you know, whatever. I like what these guys are doing here, etc., etc. Yeah, you know, we just trying to keep this game alive, and we have a plethora of tournaments that we always have going on every month. We have a schedule of tournaments all the way stretched out all the way to February for the invitation, the second invitational, all the way through February 2021. So we have these plans like set out, and going to be prepared, you know, for something always to be coming up next. And that's the kind of energy we have to have in order to keep this game alive, and it's Afterlife. So again, I'm gonna head out, guys, and I'll catch you guys later. You guys have a great day and or night wherever you catch this video. This is your homie S. Boom, boom, that's TF heading out. Peace.